Exclusive by Madhavdas G. Now, Salman Khan's Galwan-inspired film, originally titled Battle of Galwan, has officially been renamed Maatrubhumi, May War Rest in Peace. The makers have revealed the change via social media alongside a striking new poster. Salman appears in a gritty avatar, a cut on his forehead, blood-soaked hands gripping a wooden weapon, emphasizing the film's central theme, the price of war and a hope for peace. While the movie is said to be inspired by the 2020 Galwan clash, the makers say the new title frames the story in a broader patriotic context, focusing on nation, valor and the human cost of conflict rather than a strict historical retelling. Now, the renaming of the film has sparked a wave of political reactions, turning what was meant to be a cinematic release into a heated national debate. Some leaders allege that the government has shown weakness in the face of foreign pressure, claiming that there is even hesitation to mention certain countries. Others say the decision reflects a broader compromise. Critics are calling the title change an insult to soldiers who fought on the front lines and question why a patriotic story has been caught in political crossfire. Across party lines, reactions are sharp, pointed and increasingly vocal. And as the film sparks a patriotic debate, political leaders are striking back. Some accuse the government of surrendering before China. Others have expressed concern about the countries mentioned as well and bowing to foreign pressure. Listen to these reactions.
इस पढ़ने से हमको लगता है जो गलवान की जो कहानी कही है, जो उनकी जो आप बीती है, वो तो सारे देश ने देखा है। सबको पता है कि किस तरह से हम लोगों ने सरेंडर किया और किस तरह से हमारे जवान मारे गए, शहीद हुए। और उसके बाद भी हम लोग चीन के खिलाफ, चीन का नाम लेने में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री एक तरह से घबरा रहे हैं। तो ये सारी जो घटना हुई है उससे देश भी अवगत है।
हम तो सरेंडर कर रहे हैं सबके सामने, अमेरिका के सामने सरेंडर, तेल खरीदो 1 महीने के अंदर, नहीं तो ठीक नहीं हुआ रशिया से, ये नहीं होगा वो नहीं होगा। सरेंडर तो कर रहे हैं, हम कर क्या रहे हैं लंबे समय तक। बॉलीवुड तो वैसे ही सरेंडर है, कोई धमकी देता है उसमें हो जाता है वो तो बॉलीवुड।
This government has totally compromised, and this is another example. Who are you scared of? Who is the government scared of? China? I believe China has brought some objection to that, and government has succumbed and told the producers to change the name from Galwan to Maatrubhumi.
Now, while opposition voices critique, BJP leaders are weighing in. Listen in.
सलमान खान ने बैटल ऑफ गलवान को चेंज कर नाम रख दिया है मातृभूमि। क्या कैसा आप देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि चाइना का ऑब्जेक्शन था, इसमें बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स।
नहीं, बहुत सारी अच्छी बातें मातृभूमि और एक फैक्ट्स भी आएंगे, बहुत अच्छा। सलमान खान को मैं उनकी इस फिल्म के ब्लॉकबस्टर की अभी से बधाई देता हूँ।
All right, let's take this across to our guest. Joining us live is China NC spokesperson of Shiv Sena. We have R. Rajgopalan, senior journalist with us. Khaliqur Rahman is leader of the Congress party. Shoaib Chaudhary is TV and film producer. Let me start with you first. China NC, the question that is on the minds of at least several opposition leaders, and you heard those reactions there, they are saying that this is some kind of capitulation. This is a sign of surrender, and even allegations that the government has pressurized the producers of the film to change the title. Your response to that?
Madhav, Apurva Lakhya, who's the director of the film, has explained why he has chosen to focus on humanity, empathy, and the silent battles of soldiers, rather than just making this a conflict itself in terms of a controversy on a name. Let's focus on what the filmmaker has said, and the movie's release, which was originally dated for the 17th of April, might be pushed to August. So it is for him to decide if he wants to coincide it with Independence Day. It is for him and Salman Khan as the actor of the film to decide that if they chose to change the name from Battle of Galwan to Maatrubhumi, coinciding with Independence Day, and at a time like this when the whole world is talking about war, why not focus on peace? And why not understand that India's tension when it comes to Chinese forces must also be highlighted vis-a-vis the soldiers' battles? And in a situation such as this, rather than distorting facts and making this about some kind of a conspiracy of a government or saying it's an anti-China sentiment, do understand that nationalism comes first. And I think Maatrubhumi is a great choice if they choose to coincide it with Independence Day.
Maatrubhumi is a great choice coinciding with Independence Day. It's the spirit of patriotism that is reflected in the new title. It's being unnecessarily politicized. Khaliqur Rahman, your response to China NC?
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to all my co-panelists, to all the viewers. In fact, because Maatrubhumi definitely is, a name which, reflects the patriotic sentiment, patriotic feeling. But why was the name Battle of Galwan changed? Was there any pressure on the producer? That, I think, is the question that, that needs to be answered by the producer. But as far as the producers, are concerned so far, they have not really, given any reason. They just said that because we want to shift their focus from the war to the peace. And if that is the focus and if that is the objective, I think that's a great objective, because we are right now passing through, the crisis all over the world. So there is a need for the establishment of the peace. And if this movie, which is being, released, if it can, help in establishing the peace and in promoting the harmony, then I think there is nothing better than that. But at the same time, we should not forget the sacrifices which have been given by our soldiers, because that is, has to be kept as a focus too, because we cannot at any cost forget the sacrifices of our soldiers and their martyrdom, actually.
So why do you believe that the sacrifice of soldiers is being forgotten?
No. Because see, what happens is, because earlier the Battle of Galwan was very specific with the, Galwan war. But since now it's, renamed as the Maatrubhumi, the total focus has changed, actually. So that is the reason.
Rajgopalan, do you agree with that? The focus of the film has changed. With the change of the name, the entire focus from a specific incident where our soldiers, who we need to, of course, respect for the kind of service they have given to the nation, that entire incident is being buried, or somewhere in the broader messaging of Maatrubhumi, that is being lost. That is the concern being expressed by Mr. Khalikur Rahman. Respond. Mr. Rajgopalan.
Yeah. Sorry, I did not. No, Khalikur Rahman has a point of view, but I support Madam Saina NC because she brought out the real facts. My understanding of the situation, they have a word for Galwan. Same Congress called Army Sadaka Gunda. Today they shed coconut tears on the Galwan wars. Now, why should suddenly Congress come to the understanding that soldiers are being ignored? What was the comment of Sandeep Dikshit and congressmen when Sadaka Gunda? Second thing, Maatrubhumi is very popular in Kerala. They may say that Kerala wants to election vagara. They are spending hundreds of crores on this film making. Why can't they be given the freedom to change the name? Galwan, kyun rakhna Galwan? Or do you want to say that Rahul Gandhi name should be added as a Galwan hero? No, I don't think so. But in the world, 2 wars have happened for the last 2 years, 3 years. Even Ukraine, Mr. Narendra Modi brought 25,000 students from Ukraine, from all over India. They were all studying there. Even Pakistan students were brought down from the Ukraine war zone. Today, as we speak, the oil crisis, the gas crisis, we, India, very cleverly, through diplomatic issues, we brought 2 ships from that war zone. These are all certain things international relations demand. We should not be provoking any other country. We have to have soft one. Suppose if we put Galwan, it will antagonize China. Congress wants some jagada with China. Congress is the agent of the China. So they want to instigate this. So it has international repercussions. The government and also the producer very cleverly wanted this to be as a Maatrubhumi. It will be released only in the month of August, as Saina said. Let us wait and watch. Why do you make dance and song and dance?
Let Shoaib Chaudhary answer that. Shoaib Chaudhary, is that there have to be certain considerations of the larger national interest, of diplomatic relations, etc., that have to be kept in mind. And very importantly, Mr. Rajgopalan also saying that freedom of expression is a two-way street. What about the freedom of the producers? If they want to keep a certain name, you have to respect that.
Madhav, good evening to all of you. See, in the times when the film audience has been bombarded with propaganda films like the Kerala Story and Kashmir Files, it is very disheartening to see an excellent film director, Apurva Lakhia, is being suppressed and forced to change the title of his film, which is based on a real fact. So I just want to remind China NC that the real nationalism is not in watching Sunny Deol ukhadoing a hand pump in a country like Pakistan or winning a small tiny match against Pakistan. The real nationalism lies in watching our heroes fighting a superpower which was claiming our land in Galwan, and the title should have been remained the way it was. In the name of diplomacy, a filmmaker is being forced to change the title, and you're trying to tell us that he is doing it after his own wish. That is completely not acceptable. I think the government of this country should start celebrating our fighters on the border, and they should start standing with the people of this country.
Okay, Shaina, you want to answer that since it's a pointed question to you?
So firstly, I think Salman Khan's nationalism is known to one and all. And there is no question here when it comes to his talent or his integrity or his belief in nationalism and nation building. As far as Apurva Lakhia is concerned, this is not us saying it. He, as a director, has come out and said that he wants his film to focus on humanity, on empathy, and he wants to focus on the silent battles of soldiers that are fighting rather than a conflict itself. Now, if you have a movie which was initially being released on the 17th of April and then he chooses to push it back to 14th of August to coincide with Independence Day and wants to call it Maatrubhumi, it is his personal prerogative. Why bring the government into this? And at a time when the entire world is watching war, why not focus on peace? And why not focus on all those valiant soldiers who have been part of this great Madhavdas? And I think there's no better role model than Salman Khan for it. Having said that, people can continue to believe that this is some kind of a pressure tactic, which it clearly isn't. It is the prerogative of the filmmaker, the prerogative of the director and the producer, and I don't think the government has any role to play. Yes, the only role we have to play, which is to ensure that India is safe vis-a-vis China. And when it comes to Chinese forces which are trying to flex their muscles in the Galwan Valley, if that needs to be shown through a film, clearly it should be. There is no question here of distorting facts, but there is a sentiment which is pro-India and a sentiment.
So the story essentially has not changed. It's just the broader contextualization of the story rather than one specific instance. It's a larger issue, and Maatrubhumi is, at the end of the day, a patriotic theme, Shoaib Chaudhary. So what's the issue? Shaina NC is asking you.
No, I agree with every single word that she has said about Salman Khan. He's a great hero, and there's no question on his nationalism. But the point has been widely reported that after China made this into an issue, the government quarters asked the filmmakers to change the name. It is very widely reported. We are not making it up. It's very, very clear that the government has forced. I'm very clear the government has forced the producers and the directors to change the name. I still have no problem with the name Maatrubhumi at all. That's also a great name. But I, as an audience, as a filmmaker, would have preferred to go with the original title, which would have invoked some more sense of nationalism.
Okay, the original title invoked more of a sense of nationalism because of the very nature of the Galwan incident. Mr. Rajgopal, your response to those who are saying that, particularly Mr. Shoaib Chaudhary, who's echoing the view that the government has somehow surrendered to China's interests?
I don't think government has surrendered. My understanding is they have international problems are there in this crisis, Madhav, because you have to deal with umpteen number of issues. For example, as I mentioned, gas, students, we are all living to beneficiaries Maatrubhumi only. I want a little deviation from this. Jananayagan, Vijay, he produced a film that is also not being released. They want to change the name. Producer, they are spending crores of rupees. You have to have a freedom, that personal freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of financing. We have to, Salman, we salute you. Thank you that you put the name Maatrubhumi. Otherwise, China-India relationship would have been at the worst ebb.
Okay, you want to respond to that, Khalikur Rahman?
Yeah, because Mr. Rajgopalan, in fact, very clearly, in other words, say that we have to surrender before the China. That's the reason. In order to avoid any kind of conflict with the China, that's what, in fact, he meant very clearly. Not me. Even I'm sure Shaina ji and Shoaib ji and all your viewers would agree with me. So this is very clearly vindicated the stand of the government of India here. So
Yes,
I think
yes.
this is very shameful. Yes,
You may
this is very
say shameful, but who is paying? 100
very
crores, who
shameful.
is giving? 200 crores, who is giving? Not Hargur Rahman.
Do you want the pride of the country to be surrendered to China?
You want this clash to
This
be
is
had
what
with
you want.
China? You want to have clash with China? That's what Rahul Gandhi is
that
agent
means
of China. Rahul
What are
Gandhi
you
is an
talking,
agent of
Rajgopalan?
China.
What are you talking? Rajgopalan, what are you talking?
We want them to get the land of this country released. This is what we want. Stop sucking up to the failed government of India.
Yes.
No, one second. Let's keep this civil. Khalikur Rahman, there's a serious question that Mr. Rajgopalan is asking you, that somewhere or the other has the Congress party and its own links to China. There is a history, it has been widely reported, and that's why they're wanting to create these issues where none exist. That is the point of view that Mr. Rajgopalan is expressing. Respond to that specific point, Mr. Khalikur Rahman.
No. What Mr. Rajgopalan said very clearly, because I heard it and even the other two panelists also heard that actually. Because what he said that in order to avoid any further conflict with China, because so if the name is changed, what is there in that? And if and I'm sure that the government has Mr. Rajgopalan, don't.
Why should they sign an agreement?
I mean, this is, and moreover, this is,
Okay.
even the movie industry, because
You are
it's being
against
compromised.
Maatrubhumi.
Okay, let's leave it there. Gentlemen and ladies, Shaina NC, R. Rajgopalan, Khalikur Rahman, Shoaib Chaudhary. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this